Just because where I'm at.
All right.
Don't speak unless you're spoken to. Period. If you do it again, I'm like, do you not?
What is the problem?
Okay, this might be my last warning. Don't interject randomly. All right?
Okay, gotcha.
Just be fucking quiet. Don't speak unless you're spoken to. Period. If you do it again, I'm like, do you not?
You're just wearing like work attire, so I don't know what your vibe
Oh, no, I wear
is.
this every day. I wear this every day.
I know you say you don't care. I know you say you don't care for fashion and all these brand things, but maybe just a little more swag to yourself instead of just casual.
We are different. We're not the same. And once you understand that most women are sheep, most women are followers, they're not capable of critical and independent thought, it will make life a lot easier for you. Then you're going to be able to step in the leadership role as a man because she lacks these skills I just mentioned. Critical thinking and being an independent thinker. That's your job, not a woman's.
Women deserve less.
Well, we live in a world nowadays where chivalry is punished, and I've always said, you know, Dave Chappelle famously said chivalry is dead and women killed it. And the thing is that women have to earn chivalry nowadays versus just expecting it, because women are not equal to men.
Drake and like suddenly getting a DM from him. Let's not pretend like these celebrities don't have millions of like DMs to begin with. The vast majority who are poor stay with poor people.
Hold on, stop the show. The fact you're even on this platform right now shows female privilege.
You, stop, 100%. Cool.
Stop.
Yeah.
You're proving my point. What I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have an audience. You're not getting that many views yet. You're on a podcast right now with millions of subscribers, millions of views, etc. Right? Big platform. You're able to do that. Why? Because you're female. So a man, though, would have to work a lot harder than you, build up a platform, be comparable, where it's an actual value exchange
talk about
to
me.
get an opportunity to come on. So what I'm saying is that women are presented far more opportunities than men do simply by being a female.
The vast
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm D White.
Today we have a special guest. Yes, we have a special guest on, Abe, your trusted neighbor. Abe, welcome to the New Party podcast. Today we're going to get into a topic regarding Myron Gaines. Is he an alpha or a misogynist? Yesterday, we talked about Myron Gaines and how much he hates foundationally Black African Americans. I think it was pretty apparent yesterday that we broke it down. We proved he's not a friend to Black Americans here in this country. Gray, what do you know about Myron?
What I know him for is famously bringing OnlyFans models onto his platform and then attacking them. I know Brittany Reiner, or whatever her name is, one of the girls that was like, you know, kind of like a thought OnlyFans girl that got famous for having a baby with a basketball player. That's what I know him from. What about you, D?
Basically the same thing. You know, he brings young women on his show. He belittles them and berates them. It's pretty entertaining for people who like that kind of stuff. I don't agree with most of his views, but sometimes he's right. Like yesterday we did a show on him. Well, I seen some things that are pretty despicable, and I don't think I'll be watching them anymore. What about you, Mr. Abe?
Well, for me, you know, I'm kind of fresh to the Fresh and Fit podcast because I wasn't really familiar with him up until now, you know. But from what I see, it's basically like a modern day shock jock, you know. It's like they follow a similar, a similar formula to someone like Howard Stern or somebody like that,
right?
But without comedy writers, and you know what I mean? It's like uninspired. It's like a very, very uninspired version of Howard Stern, in my opinion.
Well, unlike Howard Stern, it gets pretty violent. I don't remember anyone ever slapping Howard Stern. Let's watch this clip and how violent it gets. And I could only imagine what was said to get this girl so angry.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yo. Yo, you gotta go. Yeah.
You talking about World Star? Nigga, we on World Star then. You wanna be on World Star? We on World Star.
Go.
You wanna be on World Star? We on World Star.
I'm warning you.
If you put your hand on me one more time, I'm gonna throw you out.
You need to go right
If you
now.
put your hand on me one more time,
You need to go right now.
if you put your hand on me one more time, I'm gonna throw you out physically.
You need to go right.
Don't do
You
it.
need to go right now.
Don't do
Why
it.
you being like this?
I will
You need to go right
physically
now.
throw you out if you touch me again.
Okay, let me go get my stuff then.
Go get your stuff. Because I'm telling you now, you put your hands on me twice. You do it one more time, ooh, I'm gonna grab you by your hair and throw you the fuck out
Sir, you're not
physically.
gonna do shit.
Okay, you want to be tough now? Assaulted me in my own house. All right, we got you on
You're
camera.
not gonna do shit.
All right, now go.
Why you wanna be
Go.
so big just because you on a podcast?
I don't want to touch you. I
How
want
many
you to
views
leave.
you got in this bitch? Put me
I
on
want you to
camera.
leave. You look crazy.
Put me
I
on
want you to leave.
camera.
What's going on right now?
This live right, fuck fab and fit, bitch.
Yo, we're gonna make you
Fuck
guys
fab
famous.
and fit, bitch. Put me all on motherfucking World Star, bitch. I don't give a fuck. What you mean?
Shit.
You're trespassing right now.
And the police are on the way.
You look stupid.
The police are on the way as well.
And you don't want to get arrested because right now it's called
And you
trespassing.
assaulted
Yeah,
us.
that
You
I
and
called.
her.
Right now,
I didn't
No, no.
assault nobody.
No.
right now it's
It's called
I
as well.
didn't assault nobody.
right now it's trespassing. Right
Yeah,
now it's
clearly not.
trespassing.
I want my
Because
wages.
the
I'm not going to give it to you.
So,
you can talk to the police about that.
yeah, okay.
And the police will
I'll
deal
wait
with
till the
it.
police.
No, they can be that.
Trent, Demon.
Yeah.
Concentrate.
Get much pussy,
She's fucking up
nigga.
the sound
Fuck
shit.
you, nigga.
She's fucking up
Fuck
our shit,
wrong with
too.
you, bitch. Fuck fresh and fit, bitch. Fuck wrong with you. Fuck ass nigga. You a pussy ass nigga. You a
And you look
pussy
stupid
bitch.
right now. And you
You a
look stupid.
pussy bitch.
And you look stupid.
You a pussy bitch.
And you look stupid
You a
too.
pussy ass nigga like balding, bitch. You balding.
So, geez, it's not hard to realize why he hates women so much and why women hate him. It's especially interesting, his hate he has for Black women, which I have a clip for that. Dee, what do you think riled her up so much? And do you think it was probably justified from what you've seen from him do over the years of his podcast?
I'm not going to say it was justified. One, because I didn't see what led up to that, and two, I don't think it's ever justified for somebody to put their hands on somebody else. And I do subscribe to hit me, I hit you back. I do subscribe to that. You guys might not agree with that. So he actually handled that situation for her a lot better than had it been with me, because I'm not going to stand there and let anybody put their hands on me without retaliation. So I hope in the future that ladies, we be mindful of what's going on and keep our hands off people.
Yeah, I think that I understand where D is coming from, but with him, I feel like you're at work or she's on there to be a podcast. I don't know what her profession is or why he chose her, but I mean, she went the hood route. She was talking about World Star. She was saying the N-word over and over and over again. So to me, it just was a really unprofessional environment. And he says it's his house. I don't know if that's really his house, but I mean, I don't know. What about you, Abe?
Well, for me, that shows me a whole nother side of the Fresh and Fit podcast, because I'm pretty new to their content. Before I was comparing them to Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor, but these guys, if they're gonna record this kind of content and this kind of blowout, they really need to get into talks with Zeus Network, because Zeus, from what I've seen, they've kind of replaced World Star in a sense. I mean, and people really love. I'm not a fan of this, but I do know a lot of women love this kind of content with Zeus Network. You know what I mean? With the baddies and the bad boys of Atlanta or whatever, or Houston, and I mean, it's the most trash, ratchet type of content. But if they're going to record this and they have this type of impact on people, I mean, which is a horrible type of impact, but if they're smart, they'll capitalize on it. And that would be the way to go. They could take the place of Blueface and Krishan. I think they're both in jail from what I hear. But I mean, that's millions and millions of dollars they're leaving on the table with them just being demonetized, from what I've heard.
That's true. They were demonetized because of the rhetoric that they have about Jewish people. The next clip, it shows what he feels about Black women. And I wonder if that altercation he had anything to do with how he feels.
Do you think most women respect most men?
Yes.
In today's day and age, not before.
Yeah. Not even before.
Girl, don't let him get you. You have to keep reminding me. You have to keep reminding me that I'm your age.
No,
It's okay. It's okay.
You said you're 42, right?
It's okay. It's okay. No, I don't.
You do realize that you've answered questions before under the context of before back in the day, so I had to make sure I prefaced it correctly so that you knew what I was talking about today.
It's okay.
So nice try, though.
In the moment.
See, but this exemplifies perfectly what I mean when I say modern day women don't respect men. She's on my fucking podcast acting crazy, talking like this. And the reason why is because most guys don't give women consequences for their poor decisions. So I'll be the first one to do it. You can get the fuck off the show too.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
bad leadership.
Ridiculous, bro. About you? Do you think most women respect most?
And says, I was protecting a black woman. No, she was not. She just looked stupid, and she had to protect herself and fill that narrative of, let me say this because I know I'm going to get a lot of backing on that. And then what happened was Shade Room took that and made it look like I was attacking her when in reality I was talking to the other girl. And on top of that, Asian doll.
They apologized too.
And they apologized because Shade Room did not have it right. And then on top of that, they pulled up tweets of Asian doll actually saying way worse things about black women than I did, saying African bitches are ugly. They're dark. No one wants a dark skinned bitch.
I still got receipts of you disrespecting. I still got receipts.
Here's the difference. We make fun of everyone. We have fun with it. It's satire. She does it on Twitter openly, disrespectful. She's a musician. She ain't no comedian.
But I feel like,
so, what's your problem, etc. And then we got into the thing. But she
was, how do I feel about black women? And to answer that, the reason why I don't date them a lot of the times isn't necessarily because of the way that they look. It's because a lot of the behaviors that's championed in that community. Now, with that said, I've dated plenty of black girls before that were feminine and submissive and weren't a headache, but I've dated a lot. I've dealt with a lot that were headaches, and I've come to realize in that culture, unfortunately, it's championed to be strong and independent and not respect male authority in the black community, because a lot of them are fatherless, and since they're fatherless, they don't have that masculine authority to let them know, hey, you need to follow a man's lead. Women, a lot of the times from black communities, unfortunately, grew up in a single mother household where she tells them niggas ain't shit. Then she has a sister that says niggas ain't shit. The music perpetuate niggas ain't shit. And then what ends up happening is they grow up and then they don't have a general respect for men. And then they meet you, and then you get a lot of those toxic traits coming into you because they weren't naturally taught how to be a lady. They were very masculinized since birth because they didn't have a man figure.
Wait, let me just tell them this. Let me just say this. You're absolutely.
Woo. So, D, do you agree with what he says about black women?
You guys might not like this, right? And I'm gonna preface it with that. But unfortunately, a lot of not everything he said, but a lot of what he said was true. You don't hear strong, independent white woman, strong, independent Asian woman, strong, independent Latino woman, and strong, independent black woman. They do champion the fact that they don't have a man or they don't need a man. They can do it by themselves, which I believe we're all stronger together. Man of all races, men need women, women need men. You know, we make the world go round together. And you know, the music part, they were saying that how, you know, all the music says that the N words ain't nothing, you know, and all that stuff.
Right.
That's things that true. We lead the world in single parent homes, you know, and that's not a stat that you want to be number one in. And again, it's true. Like I always tell people, if something offends you, ask yourself first, is it true? And if it's true, step back and you know, take it and do what you will with that information. Don't just be upset because it hurt your feelings. Yeah, I know people don't want to hear that, but unfortunately it is true.
Well, the women that he brings on his show, before you respond, Gray, it's hard for me to defend them because they're so fucking dumb. Like, I have to agree with him. But I think he purposely does that to make women look dumb. Gray, what do you think about what he said about black women and then about the dumb women he brings on?
Well, it's a lot to unpack here. I think that's a stereotype with black men when they date white women is because they feel like black women ghetto and they don't listen. And then, you know, a lot of times we got our own colorism where people want to get the light-skinned female. But when you look at the white guys, when they get a black girl, they get the most darkest black girl out of everybody. But you see the black dudes, they get a white girl. You know, the IRS tax return white girl was just obese, and you think he with her for money. So I think it's a whole lot of stereotypes when we start talking about why people get with certain races. And I do feel like black women do have that stereotype, and a lot of people feel that. But I do also feel like it's some that, you know, may act a certain way. But if you look at Candace Owens, she's with a white man. She acts aggressive, but because she's with a white guy, she's a Republican, she can get a pass as far as being aggressive. It isn't considered hood.
Yeah, but is she being aggressive with her husband or with her guy?
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them together, but when I look at her, I'm like, okay, this is still your stereotypical hood black girl, but she's articulate, she's smart. She's professional. So I feel like because of her views, it's kind of like, oh, it's fine for her to act like that because she's a Republican black girl, which I think is interesting.
Well, what's interesting is she supports these misogynistic assholes. They are misogynist. They are assholes. And she likes to say, well, I'm different from these women. Why? Because she wants to be the only woman in the room. That's what I think. It's good you brought her up. Abe, what do you think about what he said about women? And you don't have to necessarily comment on the black woman part, but do you think that the stereotype is true?
Well, I'll go ahead and comment on the black woman part. I know the world views me. I believe you are whatever the world views you as. You know what I mean? I may be half African, but I'm white. And I've been with a black woman for the past 5 years. I raised her black son as if it was mine, and we have splitting up. But I've seen all the stuff she's went through. I mean, she was a college graduate. Traveled, lived in Germany at one point, grew up in Philadelphia. I mean, it's and I've seen everything with her through 2 elections. You know what I mean? And it's just I do feel like, of course, people are influenced by whatever they watch and whatever they consume. That's probably the only thing I agreed with Myron, what he just said. I mean, when he talked about how music kind of, he kind of hinted that music kind of,
influences.
pushes, yeah. And I really feel like society pushes a one parent household as well. And
True.
And I mean, going all the way back to the 90s, Clinton put in the 1-person household for a lot of black families because of the 3-strike rule. You know what I mean? A whole generation was arrested. And I mean, it's just wild. You know what I mean? And but that's probably the only thing I agree with Myron. It was
right.
Him hinting at how people are influenced by the content that they intake.
True. Well, Myron is no angel himself. A podcast that he was on, H3, they really backed him in a corner on a few things, and I have some clips I would like to play. It talks about him potentially SAing a girl, and we could talk about if we think it was a SA. Remember to use codes.
Because I think Myron sexually assaulted her.
How?
Well, let's get into it. Y'all want to talk about it or not?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so let's start by watching her recount the story. Okay, let's start here, and let's just let's just be concrete about it. We don't need to speak hypothetically. Here is her retelling the story.
And I'm like trying to again
because you guys lost 10,000 subscribers after this. You guys know that, right? Like after we did our episode, I'm warning you, Ethan. Like you did your episode on this, then we did our retaliation episode showing the evidence.
You think you affected our sub count? That's crazy.
Oh, I got the numbers. Got the numbers, but you guys lost 10,000 that day. We can show
like the memes, how they say how girls are. And I'm sitting at this edge of the bed. He's like, oh, you can come up a little bit more. So now I come up, but I leave a nice gap between the both of us where it's like very obvious, like I don't like you, that I'm leaving a gap between us. And I'm on my phone. He's on his phone. And I remember, again, I was speaking about my views. Once again, he just jumps on top of me and starts making out with me.
Wow.
Like trying to kiss me and stuff. And so I'm like, I have my hands like on him where it's like, I don't want him like laying on me like intimately. So I'm just holding my hands up and I'm like, no. This was about like max a minute long. And I was wearing like this shirt and it's like a very loose shirt, whatever. And he basically lifts up the shirt and made a comment. And then I was like, I'm done. I'm over this. Like, and
Wait,
I said
he lifted
to him,
up your shirt and kind of looked at underneath it and commented?
Yeah, my chest. Because I have piercings.
I'm sorry, you said what?
No, I said I have piercings, so he made a comment on it.
Oh, okay.
It was
So
very weird.
I don't want to This is very bad. This is a very disturbing story, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting, but at that point,
I think he may have assaulted you. I mean, at this point, I
mean, I don't want to say that, but like again, like
I don't want to say
so. And again, that's why first of all, I don't think it's fair how you guys dogpiled on her because she never even said it was assault. I did. So let's talk about me.
Because Ethan, the reason why she said it wasn't assault is because you're leaving out the part where she came over to my place. She left where she was at to come to my place. She went and hung out with me. We went and got food prior to this. Then we were in my bed. She came back to my place, by the way, after this. Matter of fact,
Fresh, didn't she ask you to give her a ride to my spot?
That is correct.
Oh,
And
oh,
all
yeah.
of those things entitle you to grab her fucking top and expose her breast. What she said you did.
Dude,
max a minute
allowed it to
long.
happen.
And I was
She weren't kissing. We're making out. I don't know if you're in the game, Ethan. I know you're married and you haven't been, single for a while, but it's called escalation. It's called women showing you signs.
She said that you attempted to kiss her and she pushed you off.
That's not true, bro. Because I told her to go get Listerine and she went ahead and did it.
Okay,
that's where the mouthwash joke came from.
Well, first of all, let me say this.
You're not gonna win this. You weren't there.
All right.
Here's the other thing too.
You're getting excited. I'd like to make my point, but you can go ahead and finish.
No. Here's the other thing too. At the beginning of that clip that you like to play, because you like to play clips and not the full thing, I said, "Oh, come up." And what does she do? She gets off the edge of the bed and comes closer to me. I mean, I think that's a sign, right?
Well, that's
Ethan?
what
She
you
sits in my
said.
bed.
That's what you said happened.
She just said it in the thing. Oh yeah.
No, you're right. She said he asked me to come closer and I came a bit closer. But that makes sense to me.
So this brings us to, is this an assault? Now, let me say this. Do I think all women should be believed? No, I'm not saying that. But this woman didn't say he assaulted her. Now, do I think he necessarily was enough to press criminal charges? No, I think that guy was overinflating it. But this is what this misogynistic culture teaches these young men, not to respect women and take what you want. And I mean, Andrew Tate is being accused of some form of SA himself. And this is part of the culture. D, do you think that story was assault? And how do you know when a girl is ready, if we're going to take it there?
I'm glad you asked me first because I want to get on this before anybody else said anything else. All right, let me start by prefacing this. It's only unwanted or unsolicited if the girl does not like you. If the girl likes you, which is, it's hard for a young man to notice. You can't. If I walk up to a girl and say, "Hey man, I like that dress," and she likes me, oh, that's nice. If another guy walks up to her and say, "Hey, I like that dress," she might take that as creepy because she doesn't like him. So what you're asking men to do is you're cutting us off at the knees. So now we do nothing and we don't make a move, and then he's not confident, he's a wimp, all kind of stuff like that. Because I've been with a woman before, because usually I'm very handsy, I want to break the touch barrier, I want to pull you in, touch on you, all that great stuff, and I don't have problems with that. But there's been times where I didn't do that, and then I get a text the next day and she's like, "Well, why didn't you try anything?" So I mean, what do you want men to do? And the girl said, she did say that he did not say, I'm not a defender of him, but she did say he did not sexually assault her. Her words, not mine, right? So I mean, we're on the outside looking in, and if he made a move, it just didn't work. He made a move, he tried to kiss her and she didn't want to be kissed. Okay, well, back up, and we stop right there. What do you think, Ray?
I agree with what y'all saying, where basically if she didn't press charges and didn't go any further, I don't think that wordplay should be used as a SA. But I think this is why now you see like famous peoples and athletes that bring that contract in there and say, "Hey, make sure you sign on the line, make sure you do this so we can say that everything is consensual." And I feel like because of what some women have done where it hasn't been maybe realistic or really happened, has made it where guys are scared and they don't want to take any chances because they may be accused of some form of a crime. What do you think, Abe?
Well, I gotta say, I definitely agreed a moment ago with D. It all depends on if the woman's interested in that particular man. Like I don't know if you guys ever heard it. It was on one of Chris Rock's specials years ago. He was like, I wouldn't be here if my daddy didn't harass my mama. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, it all depends on if there's mutual attraction. And as a man, once you see that there's no mutual attraction, you got to move on. You know what I mean? Because you're walking a fine line at that point. Yeah, I mean, and then it's kind of tough for men too, because you hear those old timey stories about, yeah, your grandmama didn't like me, and I kept going and saying hello and bringing her an apple and all kinds of stuff every day, and finally she liked me after a month. And then you got family matters where Steve Urkel's going after Laura for 20 or 10 years or however long, and then finally they get married at the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
It paints a crazy picture for, men growing up. But you walk in a fine line. I mean, if you find out that a woman's not attracted, you got to move on, because what, you're going to end up on a sex offenders registry list where they
True.
send it to everybody in your neighborhood, and then send it to your job and everybody, and then you're completely exposed at that point. And
True.
all you were trying to do was, you know, meet somebody new.
Have a date, right? And I worry for my son growing up, because this world is like it's too much. I mean, the whole Me Too thing was BS. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it as the woman on the call. Some of those stories with Harvey Weinstein, it just sounded like a bad meeting gone wrong. Why did you go to his hotel? Or that story about Aziz, that comedian Aziz Ansari?
Yes, that's one I was thinking about.
It sounded like a bad date. Like, dude, you're mad because it wasn't all that. Maybe the S was whack. Okay, that's one thing. But you shouldn't have went to his house. Like, when these women go to their house, it puts them in a bad predicament. But at the same time, there are such things as date R. There are such things as date R. And most R's are with people believe it or not. So I'm not going to completely say it's not, but we'll chalk it up to this time. It was not an R. I don't think he essayed her. But the same podcaster asked him a good question. If your methods work, why aren't you married?
I'll write a guide.
Because my thing is, like, you're talking about the finish line. What about the race?
Yeah.
You understand? Like, you have to get
Are
to a
either of
certain
you married?
point where you can even identify a female that's worthy of marriage, of having a family with, etc. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's not that simple anymore. So we live in a very complex world where it's difficult to identify women that are marriage material, and most aren't. Simply, that's just what it is. So
you guys are. If you guys' method is so good, why aren't you married?
Again, because men are the ones that decide if they want to get married.
Choice.
So you choose not to be married.
Yes, because men are the one. We're the gatekeepers to marriage and commitment. Women are the gatekeepers to sex.
Right. And you're 34, right, Myron?
Yes.
And do you plan on getting married someday? Do you think it's important?
Eventually, the nuclear family is the backbone to any.
So this is a good point. If their methods work, why are they not married? Do you think that's a good argument, D, or do you think they're just choosing not to be married?
I think that's the stupidest argument in the world. Asking a man why isn't he married yet? This man is super successful. He has a huge fan base. Women throw themselves at him. He has a lot of money. 100%. If he wanted to be married next week, he'd be married next week. He's enjoying the life of bachelor, and I don't know what point the guy was trying to make there, but that was a very minute point.
I agree with D on this. Like, I mean, he pretty much could marry anybody, and like he said,
so why did you get married then, Gray?
I'm divorced, and at the time when I got married, I mean, I was in love with my ex-wife, and I was in the military, so I had to be married for her to come where I was at. So, I mean, would I get married again? Possibly, but I'm a lot more apprehensive with proposing to someone or even signing up for marriage with somebody after I've seen what getting the government involved in your relationship does. So I understand, man. Men are the ones that get railroaded when we get a divorce. Women typically gain from a divorce. What about you, Abe?
I gotta say, I agree with both D White and Gray Mars on this one. We're in agreement, fellas. They, he has no need to get married at the time. If he were to get married, I mean, I don't know how much money the guy's worth, but I'm sure them guys got to be worth millions at this point. Like, that would be a big decision. Like that might kill his platform as well, because I mean, then it's going to raise the question, like, well, how does your wife feel about your views on that? It's like, how does she feel? Like, he'll say something bold, and it's like, well, boy, like, you just imagine the comments. I mean, he's sleeping on the couch at night. He's in the doghouse. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would hurt his platform to get married at this time. And if he did get married, I would keep it a secret if I was him.
Well, he has a girlfriend, and we can play that clip where he talks about the rules he has for her and how he used to view her as a hoe.
It was the terminology.
Yeah, and I said again, and I'm really glad that you brought this up because I knew you were going to bring this up.
Thank
I knew
you.
you were going to bring this up,
Very
and
good.
I'm really see you're very predictable, my friend.
Bro, just talk. You keep posturing.
No, because we gonna cook you, man. This is why even
All right.
this is why you're ducking us for
Get
years.
on with it, dude. Come
In
on.
the first clip, when I said you're in a long-term committed relationship, right, and have photos of yourself like that, it is cheating. Well, guess what? Since she's been my girl, guess what's on her profile? It's hidden. It's private. She doesn't have those pictures up.
So you're saying things that happened in the past don't matter.
She deleted thousands of people that used to follow her.
So
right?
so
Or
things
whatever
in
may
the
be
past.
plan.
So if she's things happen in the past and she's moved on and then that stuff doesn't matter anymore.
Well, it's not about that. It's about how does she acquiesce to you? Does she get into your frame once you get with her? Okay. So with the thing with Fresh, because you're
exposed right now, girlfriends.
Ethan, what do you mean exposed? I do a weekly show with my girl, and I say she's my girl on my show. What are you talking about?
Well, Myron's the one dodging, but you say you have multiple girlfriends. That's a lie.
Everyone knows that my girl is Angelica. We do.
So she's not a hoe. You called her a hoe, but she's no longer a hoe.
We true crime show together.
So
also,
she's not a hoe. She was a hoe, but she's not a hoe anymore.
I love the fact also because if you're going to play that clip, I also said in there like, oh well, we don't know, but this is one of the profiles where you got to get to know the girl.
Exactly.
I said that too. You made sure to not show that part, didn't you?
I'll open it. No, it's there. I'll watch it again.
So again, you don't watch anything, which is why you are very ill-informed. But let me go ahead and
Pictures like that. Here it is. I've watched the whole thing. You guys want to watch it again? I mean, we can.
You know, sexy photos of yourself on the internet. You know, Instagram is just one medium that you can do it. Yeah, it is cheating.
She's posting pictures like that, bro. It's a wrap, man. For you, it's a wrap.
So I don't
When
like
you
that.
post pictures,
it's not sexualizing
okay,
ourselves.
yeah, when you post pictures of yourself on the internet that are scanned.
So, would you be okay if your girlfriend posted sexy pictures? And is this a double standard that he tells her not to do it while he goes and posts all sorts of pictures of himself shirtless? D, you can go first.
I mean, it depends on the reason she's posting these pictures. Like if she's a IG model and that's her thing, you know, I don't really understand how you could not want her to do it. You know, maybe if she's a actress, or maybe she's a OnlyFans girl, because these guys be marrying OnlyFans girls too. Now let's not forget that. You know, I don't really think that you could be upset about something like that. But if she's just a regular Instagram user, I don't think that you should have your woman posting pictures like that. But to each his own. You know, I'm not telling somebody what their wife or their girlfriend should do. But me personally, my girl wouldn't do those kind of things. What about you, girl?
Oh, so you would have a problem with it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want my girl posting half naked pictures on the internet. For what?
D, I know you, okay? And I'm not going to say too much personal. You have friends of all kinds, like persuasions. Would you wipe up a stripper, a Instagram model, OnlyFans girl? Because that's the kind of girl his girlfriend. He talks bad about these girls, but that's his girlfriend, D.
I would never bring one of them home. Maybe we'll find, you know, a fun hangout time at some hotel somewhere. You know, but they would never come to my house. They would never be my
But
girlfriend.
do you see the hypocrisy of it all?
Yes. Yeah, he's telling guys to watch out for women like that, while at the same time having a woman like that.
Oh, go ahead, Greg.
So I think we really said like, I wouldn't want like my girl to like change it to that, but if I cuff, and I'm not necessarily saying I would, if I cuffed the OnlyFans model, and she was doing that prior to me meeting her, then I feel like I got to deal with it. And it's like I can't change her. As the age-old saying, you can't turn a trick into a housewife. So
Correct.
I mean, that's basically how I see it. What about you, Abe?
Well, you know, I never really cared to bring a fire hydrant home or a park bench home or anything like that. And basically, I'm getting at, I'm not going to bring public property home. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like that's her job. Just like you know, you guys were saying, you know, if she's an Instagram model and she's making money somehow and that has something to do with her career, you can't say nothing about it. I mean, it's like being with a stripper. Or how about No Jumper, Adam 22 and his wife needed a plug.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what I'm getting at here is this guy is a hypocrite. Do as I say, not as I do. Listen, fellas, if you're following him, Stop paying. You know, he charges $1,000 for advice to these guys. Please stop it. I can give you advice for free as a woman, and I give pretty good advice. I'm just not good at taking my advice, but I'm a great advice giver. Hit me up. I'll give you advice for free. You don't need to pay $1,000.
He's such
And
a
I mean,
smart
to
guy.
me, it's just like, huh?
He's such a smart guy, but I mean, you know,
He is a smart guy. He's suckering these idiots. The people that follow him are tools and idiots like him. Now, another stupid thing he does. He talks bad about women, yet he goes on platforms like Sugar Mama, Sugar Baby, or whatever to find them. Let's watch the clip where he talks about that.
That's by choice.
Oh, but no, the ability to find a woman, you clearly don't have that ability.
Who said I was
Well, let me
no.
ask you this. Let me ask you this, Myron. If you are single by choice and you don't, let me ask you this. Why are you on
approach me on a sugar daddy website?
Why are you on sugar daddy
and asked me to
websites?
be your sugar baby, and then
Never
couldn't
did.
afford my allowance.
Never did.
He couldn't afford my $10,000 allowance a month, and said,
I'm
"Haha,
glad- I'm
that's
glad that
funny.
he
Why
brought
don't
this
you
up.
just come on my podcast instead?"
Ethan, are you aware
So
of the
he
fact that
pays
we did a
$40
complete
a month
episode?
to be
Just
on
let the
a
clip. Just let the clip play so the audience can watch, and then we could talk about it.
or to be on a fucking app. It's called Seeking Arrangements
Yes.
to troll women.
Yes.
And I know a bunch of girls have talked about it because that's his thing. That's how he gets women to
So
come
I
on
just want to
here.
be. So thank you for cementing the fact that I don't pay girls off sugar sites. Thank you.
Then why are you
and
on
then
there?
also
Why are you on there?
because I use it as a dating site. And I've said it many times.
So you use the sugar daddy websites as dating sites. Women specifically who are, would supposedly be a certain type of woman. Obviously, that would be on a sugar daddy website. So it seems like you are confirming your biases by even going there to find women. You know what I mean?
What? Okay, so you.
Sorry,
said a
Walter.
bunch-
I'll say. Do you want me to say it again slower?
Yeah, I mean, you. What is your specific thing that you're trying to insinuate here? Because one, you're trying to attack me for being on a sugar site, which I was going to talk about, but that's fine. So, what is your specific critique?
Yeah, the women are are this way. You say women are materialistic,
hypergamous.
Hypergamous.
Okay.
And then let's just start there. Women are always trying to date up a in status.
Yes.
And yet here you are seeking out these types of women to confirm your own bias. Don't you find that ironic?
No.
Listen, this dude hates women, okay? He hates women. He just wants, let me go seek hoes so I can prove that women are hoes. Let me go seek self-absorbed women. Like the average woman, most average women, for the most part, I think are good women. Now, when you go down the route of the strippers, the OnlyFans, that's when you find these women. I mean, D, what do you think? You don't have to agree with me, but what do you think?
Well, it kind of seems to me like he found a cheat code, and he's going on the site, you know, where most women on that site who want to be sugar babies have to look a certain way, you know, have to be a higher caliber women. So maybe he goes on there, he messages them, but he doesn't pay them. You know, kind of sounds like he found a loophole to me. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. What about you, Gray?
I feel like now that information came out, because I didn't know that, the show makes a lot more sense. I'm familiar with what seeking arrangements is, so it's like, oh, okay, this is why all these women look like this, was why all these women act like this. So, I mean, with D saying, yeah, he, as far as a content creator, he picked a specific group that he wanted to put out there. But now that I know that, I feel like it is a major bias with the people he chose, rather than it being a real, like, polling, for lack of a better term, of what women are actually like. What about you, Abe?
Yeah, I do. I do understand a lot of the hate that comes his way after watching some of these clips, because it's like, you know, he's saying like the entire population. In a sense, he's saying that the entire population of women are like that one group of women that he's talking about. A lot of the things he's saying are true for a small group of women. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And
it's
he's
like I
bringing
do
on
understand
that
the hate.
small group of women to support his assertions.
Yeah, and then he brings them right on. I really feel like, I know I mentioned it earlier, I really feel like these guys pull a lot of inspiration from Howard Stern. He does the same thing. He changed his image over the last 5 or 10 years, but he used to do the same thing on the show that used to come on TV. he would he would get the sleaziest women, I mean, and then like he had the Rat Pack. They were like complete, you slow adults. I'll say, I mean, pretty much all of them. I mean, they're mentally challenged, but he would do that to prove a point about like the stupidity of America or the sleaziness of women. I mean, they had to pull inspiration from him, in my opinion.
Well, I think this last clip sums it up on what I think about him, and I'll just play it.
Okay, so with the gay stuff, we need to ban open homosexuality. Okay, it should be criminal if gay dudes are kissing each other or showing any type of affection. Same with lesbians. No pride flags in schools. Completely ban any type of education on LGBT community, any of that stuff. Get rid of critical race theory because it teaches people to be victims. Get rid of all that shit. You can't turn kids into genders. I don't give a fuck what they say, kicking and screaming. I feel like I'm a girl. Well, shut up, buddy. You're a fucking guy. You're gonna stay a boy until you become an adult. Okay, so
yeah, so in summation, I think Myron Gaines, if you're watching this, you are gay, okay? I don't think you're an alpha male. I think you're a beta bitch. Enzy.
Those are some very interesting pictures of him, very unflattering. I've never seen those before. Maybe he really does hate women. Maybe you're right. What do you think, Gray?
As far as him like attacking gay people, I think it's just another thing to try and like bring different content there. And I know we talked about before that he was like, trying to like get the ultra right wing. So he seems to be a very intelligent guy. Kind of has figured out this content creator thing on what to get people to talk about and how to get people's attention. I don't know if he's gay or not. I'm not gonna put that charge on him. I mean, he seems to be surrounded by
Before
women.
Christina said it, you could put the hate to me. D White, Gray Mars, Abe did not say it, but I said it, and I'm a woman.
Yeah, go ahead, Abe.
Well, I'd say his point of view, the way it differs from my point of view on that, like I'm heterosexual, I have no problem with gay people or trans people or anything like that. Because I feel like it's almost un-American to tell somebody that they can't be gay or they can't be trans.
Right.
Because America's supposed to be about freedom, but at the same time, like I don't condone that in my own personal life. I feel like gay people, yeah, if they I believe they should be able to get married. I mean, if they want to get married, I mean, let them have at it. But at the same time, I mean, a straight couple is only allowed to do so much in public. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like they should be held to the same exact rules. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it might be a homosexual relationship compared to a heterosexual relationship, but it's still a relationship in public. They gotta carry themselves with dignity. And
that's true.
I don't think they should be banned altogether, but they shouldn't be doing it out. I mean, you shouldn't be Christmas shopping, and then you got these two guys tonguing each other. Like, I tell you what it reminds me of. It was about, I think maybe I don't know how big of NFL football fans you guys are, but it was probably like 10 years ago. There was a gay player who got drafted.
Michael Sams.
Yes, you remember this?
Yeah,
I think it was
because
the
he
Rams.
got drafted to my team.
The Rams? Yeah, and it was so crazy. I mean, everybody already heard he was gay, and everybody was, most people are pretty accepting nowadays. But the night of the draft, and I know you remember this,
Yes.
The night of the draft, it switches to him and his boyfriend tongue kissing on national television.
Yeah.
It was just insane, and I mean, there's millions of little boys watching that at home.
Right.
So I mean, they need to carry themselves with dignity like a heterosexual couple is, expected to do.
Yes, and I get that. But the fact of the matter is, Myron hates women so much that I think there's more to this. And
I
in
think he may be
closing,
gay as well.
I think you're gay, Myron. Myron, I live in Florida. I would love to come on your podcast, an intelligent woman, not Candace Owens. And I would love to talk to you face to face because you told that one podcaster that I watched, you want to look people in their face. I want to look you in your face. I want to talk to you in your face. And I'm not going to get ratchet with you because, boo-boo, I got a career unlike those strippers you got on, okay? So holla at your girl. New Party 115, we're on X. So worry about that. D, what's your closing words?
I don't know. I hope he just cleans up his act a little bit because, like I say, some of the things he say I do agree with, but a lot of it is, it just goes overboard. It's just way too far. Hope he gets himself together, man. And if he is gay, I'm not saying he is. Maybe come out the closet, man. And stop hating yourself.
For sure. Comment below if you want Nora to be the love doctor and give you dating advice. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Anything you got to say, Abe?
Well, he's got to clean up his act a little bit, or Plan B, go to Zeus Network. I mean, I feel like he would be a huge star on that network. But it's not my content. It's not the content I'm into. But I'm telling you, there's millions of women that are into that content. But
Zeus, if you're watching, we would love to be on your channel. He may not, but you can talk to us.
But and also, I feel like watching these clips, I'm guessing Fit is Myron. Am I correct?
Yes, he's fit. Fresh is the black guy that you saw. They call him Willow or something like that. Something with a W.
I feel like Fresh needs to speak up for himself. He's looking like a battered spouse at this point. He just stays quiet. He looks scared every time Fit opens his mouth. I mean, like, what's the deal? I mean, they might really be gay.
Though. Fresh had his own hot water. Girl was pregnant for him last year or the beginning of the year, and he wanted her to abort the baby.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, that's his own prerogative. I guess if it's legal in his state, I mean, that's his own prerogative. That's a whole nother conversation, though. That's crazy, but he does seem like he's the quiet one in that relationship, and I don't know. It's like he almost doesn't want Fit to say those things. Like, it almost reminds me of Jay and Silent Bob in a way, but I mean, but he stays quiet, almost like a battered spouse that's scared to say anything. Because he's not the star of the show. It don't seem like neither. So I mean, it's like he can't say nothing.
So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments, and it was always vote.
Always vote.